I want to talk about giving President Trump a grade. It's a pretty much an end of year review. And before I do that, I want to hear from you in the comment section below. What kind of grade do you give him? Do you give him an F? If you do, get specific. Why do you give him an F? Do you give him an A plus? Why do you give him an A plus? If you give him a C, why do you give him a C? You get the point. Okay. And before I reveal my grade to you, I just want to set the stage of what he was going into, the mess he had inherited. So I give him already a lot of credit on the cleanup he had to do, right? And so, but even before that, you have to think about the obstacles, the personal obstacles that he and his administration had to go through. This is a man who was impeached 4 times, three out of the four impeachments that he had, the 91 charges against him. Three impeachments were dismissed. I constantly argue with TDS people on the internet about this all the time. The minute they say, well, he's a criminal, and I say, well, can you be more specific? And they talk about the Georgia fraud case, they talk about the mishandlement of documents, they talk about the 2020 insurrection January 6th. Again, I'm like, those were dismissed. The charges that still stand are the 34 count felony charges in New York City, where they changed the laws. So just to hit him with those 34 uh, charges of mismanaging documents, I believe. Okay. Also, his adversary, Kamala Harris, who he beat like a dog in the 2024 election. This was a lady who was handpicked by the DNC. This is a lady who outspent him in campaign money by billions of dollars. Uh, and what was the result of that? The net result of her doing all these things, including, throwing the law book at him, including outspending him in the 2024 election. The result was him winning all 7 swing states, uh, pretty much setting an unprecedented standard for a Republican victory, which we've never seen before. Again, winning all 7 swing states, winning the popular vote, um, and winning the electoral college. So, okay. Let's go into some of his things that he's accomplished. Number one, inflation. I want to talk about inflation. I know inflation is still a problem for many Americans. I don't think it's one of those things that's resolved yet. I think it's an ongoing thing. But if you look at the progress this administration has done, they've accomplished a lot. I mean, look at the prices of eggs. They've significantly come down from where they were. I remember eggs under the Biden administration were like almost $9, $10 for a dozen of eggs. Now I'm seeing prices under $2. I got gasoline yesterday to fill my Jeep Compass, and it was the lowest prices I've seen in 5 years. It was like $2.52 for a gallon of gas, versus the Biden administration, where gas prices were like above $5 a gallon, because they're pushing this whole EV nonsense stuff into the mouths of American people, where they're like, you got to get an EV. Um, I remember under the Biden administration, under the Obama administration, they were even pushing this EV stuff even back then, and they were talking about how the Obama's energy secretary wanted to. He was quoted for saying he wanted to get gas prices as high as the prices in Europe. So just kind of letting you know what their agenda is. Okay, shelter prices have significantly come down under the Trump administration. You saw, let's not forget, inflation was as high as 9.1% under the Biden administration. Now it's under 3%. I still think that's pretty high. I think they've got to do a lot more work on that. You're also seeing real wages for Americans increase by $1,000 under the Trump administration. So a lot has been accomplished, but there's still a lot more work to do on this issue. Okay, let's talk about illegal immigration and how the current administration has completely reshaped immigration and border policy debates. Um, if you look at what happened in the Biden administration, you've had over 12 million illegal aliens come into the country. The current administration, the Trump administration says that it's close to 25 million. I think it's even higher. I think it's more like 50 million illegal aliens came into the country under the Biden administration. And I'm accounting for people who this is stuff that's not accounted into these numbers, like visa fraud, like marriage fraud, like student fraud, like asylum fraud. And I think if you account for all these things, the numbers are much higher. Um, if you look at the encounters, border encounters in 2025, it's like 230,000 encounters, which is a 50-year low. It's unprecedented. You haven't seen this in 50 years. It's obviously amazing to see. Um, and it's interesting because if you hear the Biden administration and the Obama administration, the Hillary administration, when Hillary was running in 2016, they were talking about the border and how, well, we states need to work together, and the federal government needs to help them out. And Texas that whole time was like, no, we could do it ourselves. Just get the heck out of our way and we'll do it ourselves. So again, the border policies have completely been changed under this administration, and we're seeing a net result of that. If you listen to the radio like I do, when I'm in the car, I mean, I hear all the time about how the DOH is giving out stipends um, for people to self-deport. So the people have this lunacy with ICE that, oh, ICE is dragging people out of their homes. Really, they have warrants to arrest those people. Also, federal agents have the right to enforce um, immigration laws. That if you, even you put that aside, the other message that the people don't talk about enough is that you have Tom Homan, you have a Pam Bondi, again on the radio. If you could self-deport, we'll give you money. That stipend a few weeks ago was $1,000. That stipend now is $3,000 to self-deport and a one-way flight ticket to whichever country you came from. And again, the beautiful part is that they're saying, "Hey, we'll allow you to come back as long as you follow the process." So, again, I touched on inflation. I touched on reshaping the border conversation. I want to talk a little bit about some of his quick wins, like no new wars started. He clearly is the man of peace. He's actually ended wars like Pakistan and India, Azerbaijan and Armenia, Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. We saw Palestine and Israel. That conflict stopped as of the most I'm recording this now on December 27th. As of yesterday, I read an article about how the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, is open to a peace deal that is being proposed between Russia and Ukraine. So I'm just curious, what are they going to say now when he's going to put an end to this war? Again, if they've got TDS, it doesn't matter what you tell them. So we'll see what happens. But clearly, in 2027, this Ukraine and Russian war is coming to an end, and they're getting very close to doing that. Um, all right, he gave $12 billion to farmers. He fully staffed our military, right? I mean, you're seeing military recruiting numbers sky high. We've never seen anything like this before, because people are actually engaged and energetic and excited about the U.S. and you hear President Trump talking about the hottest country. It shows it because we just saw our GDP, Q3 GDP at growth at 4.3%, I believe, and we see our military fully staffed. he's giving $101,776 as a bonus to the 1.5 active military members that we have in all around the world. Um, Again, these are all amazing things that I think as an American you support naturally. And for me, also the very basic thing of like he's brought Christmas back. You know, if you look at a Kamala Harris, a few years ago, you have her saying, "How would her saying, if I could quote her saying, how dare we say Christmas?" Basically patronizing Americans for saying Merry Christmas. Um, and here he is, just celebrating Christmas. It's just really amazing to see. And the other thing for me, I think which he's done a pretty good job at, but I think he needs to go further with this, is he's protecting kids from transitioning, chopping off their penises. He's got this act called the Protect Act of 2025, which is a bill in Congress that eliminates federal funds going into programs like Medicare, Medicaid for kids to transition. Um, so basically taking a sledgehammer to the woke agenda. I think there the woke virus it still lingers out there. I think there's really no eradicating it. As much as you smash it and incinerate it, it's still linger out there because it's so deeply infected in our country. So okay, so to give him a grade, I'm going to give him an A plus because of all these things I just mentioned. I think there's still room on and to improve on inflation. I still think house prices are sky high. I think the younger generation, like not the millennials, but more so Gen Zers, are still struggling. So I think we've got to find ways to bring student tuition down. I think one of the things he could do is advocate for trade schools, making trade schools either like put out more grants for trade schools or make trade schools free. I think that gets a lot of younger kids excited because they don't have to go into 60, 80, $100,000 in debt to go to a university for 4 to 5 to even 6 years and then not have a job versus a trade school you go to for a year, 2 years, and you come out as a skills tradesman. You come out as a electrician,